Room 8 wasn't supposed to be rented out. People always imagine that the creepiest motels are the ones that look abandoned. But the story that circulated in Redford County wasn't about a rundown place. It was about a clean, quiet roadside inn run by a couple who never seemed to age, and a room that never should have been opened. The person this happened to was named Haley. She was 25, driving cross-country for a new job, and wanted nothing more than a warm bed after 9 straight hours on the road. She wasn't picky. She wasn't paranoid. She just needed sleep. When she pulled into the Redford Inn, the parking lot was almost empty. Only 2 cars sat under the buzzing street lamps, both covered in layers of dust. Inside the lobby, a small bell chimed when she opened the door. The owners, a polite older couple, smiled too quickly, as if relieved she wasn't someone else. The woman behind the counter slid a sign-in sheet toward her, hands trembling just a little. "We have 1 room left," she said. "Room 8. Her husband shot her a look, a tight, warning glance that Haley didn't catch at the time. She signed anyway. The old man walked her to the room, holding a ring of keys that jingled nervously. When they reached the door, he hesitated. "If anything feels off," he said quietly, "you come back to the lobby. Don't wait." It sounded like generic hospitality advice, but something about the way he said it made Haley pause. Still, she thanked him and stepped inside. Room 8 looked like any modest roadside motel room. Clean sheets, a small TV, a single large window facing the parking lot. Nothing unusual. She locked the door, dropped her bags, and took a long shower. By the time she crawled into bed, exhaustion hit her so hard she didn't even think to check the room twice. She closed her eyes, and that's when she heard it. A soft scrape. Somewhere inside the walls. Not loud, not urgent, just a faint dragging sound, like someone slowly moving their hand along the drywall. She sat up, listening. Silence. She shook her head and lay back down. Old building, old pipes. She didn't care, but a few minutes later, it returned, closer. A deliberate, slow rubbing sound, and then a whisper, so faint she thought she imagined it. "Is someone here?" She froze. The voice wasn't outside. It wasn't in the hallway. It was inside the room, muffled, like it traveled through a vent. Haley sat up again, eyes scanning the walls. There was no vent, not in the bathroom, not above the bed, nowhere. She turned on the lamp. Everything looked normal, perfectly normal. She tried to convince herself she was overtired. She lay down a 3rd time. This time, the voice came from the corner of the room, softer, like breath pressed through thin cracks. "Help me." Haley shot out of bed so fast she nearly fell. She grabbed her bag, shoes forgotten, heart racing, and bolted out the door. She didn't even bother locking it behind her. She ran straight to the lobby, where the old couple looked like they'd been waiting for her. Not surprised, not confused, just worried. "You heard it, didn't you?" the woman asked softly. Haley nodded, still shaking. The old man let out a breath he'd clearly been holding. "Room 8 isn't supposed to be rented. The lock must have rotated without us noticing." That made no sense to Haley, who was trying to catch her breath. "Why is there a voice in there?" The old couple exchanged a long, tired look. Then the woman began to explain. Years ago, before they took over the inn, Room 8 was part of a police investigation. A young man staying there vanished during the night. No break-in, no signs of struggle, just gone. For weeks, officers stayed at the motel, interviewing guests, tearing apart the room, opening the walls. They found nothing. But even after the investigation ended, guests kept reporting the same thing, whispering through the walls, pleading for help. Sometimes soft, sometimes frantic, always from the same corner of the room. Some claimed it sounded exactly like the missing man. After the 3rd complaint, the inn owners sealed the room permanently. They moved furniture in front of the door, twisted the lock mechanism from the inside, removed the listing from every online site. It wasn't meant to open, ever again. But after years of repairs, years of new paint, years of mechanical fixes, things shift, things loosen, locks slip. By now, the fear in Haley's chest had grown into something colder, more focused. "It didn't just sound like someone," she said. It sounded like someone who could hear me. The old couple didn't deny it. The man just rubbed his forehead. People say he's been trapped there in some way, that he never left the room. Haley swallowed. Is it haunted? Not the way you're thinking, the woman whispered. It's more like the room kept an imprint of him, the last moments he experienced, like something pressed so deeply into the walls that it still tries to repeat itself. That explanation didn't make Haley feel any better. The woman continued, We've tried everything to quiet it. Repairs, soundproofing, even boarding up parts of the wall. Nothing stops it for long. Did anyone ever try going inside when the voice starts? Haley asked. The couple stiffened. The old man shook his head. Not anymore. He didn't elaborate. He didn't need to. Haley didn't sleep the rest of the night. She stayed in the lobby while the couple made her tea, apologizing over and over again. When morning came, they refunded her stay and begged her not to leave a review. She didn't argue. She just left. But something bothered her the entire drive that day. Something she kept replaying in her mind, no matter how hard she tried to brush it away. When she'd run out of the room, when she'd grabbed her bag off the floor, she remembered the sound clearly now. Not a voice, a breath, right behind her, as if someone had been standing up in the corner, as if they had taken one final step toward her before she fled. Haley couldn't shake the image of it. A presence rising from the wall, a shape forming out of something that shouldn't have formed at all. And the worst part? 5 days after she checked out of the Redford Inn, her phone buzzed with a voicemail from an unknown number. There was no message, no voice, just breathing, slow, quiet, familiar. And right before it cut off, a whisper. Don't leave me here. Haley deleted the voicemail immediately. She changed phones, changed her number, and she never took another road trip alone again. But every now and then, late at night, when her apartment is completely quiet, she swears she still hears it. That same soft dragging sound coming from inside the walls.